friends. This is the Be Real Babe podcast, a place where your average Canadian wolfpack come together to talk about life stresses, messes, and successes. Each week, we will bring you new episodes sharing our experiences on a ton of different topics in hopes that we get a better understanding of ourselves, each other, and this crazy world we live in. We want to build a community where we can show up as ourselves, be real, and lay it all out there. By sharing our experiences, we hope to reach others who can relate so we can all help each other learn, grow, and heal. But please keep in mind, as a disclaimer, none of us here are professionals, no one is giving any advice. We are strictly speaking of our life experiences and for entertainment purposes only. Now, with that being said, it's time. So grab your drink, grab your joint, and let's jump right in. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Be Real Babe podcast. Thank you guys so much for coming to the show. If this is your first time here, I am your host, Brandy. If you are a returning guest, I cannot thank you enough for showing up continually and supporting the show. Today, we're on episode 19, and we're going to be talking about that body image and fitness guest episode. Our very first guest has probably been one of my longest and biggest cheerleaders, especially in the fitness industry. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce my good friend, Angela. How's it going, babe?
Hey, Brandy, how are you tonight?
I am so good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I am so excited to be here and share some experiences with you guys.
I'm so excited that you said yes, and you're like, yep, I'm into it. You sent me your pictures right away, and it was on top. I was like, it motivates me when people are as motivated as I am to share my story. It just gets me really excited. And me and you have spent a lot of our fitness journeys together, and we've seen each other go through a lot. So it was just really great to share the show and share these episodes with those that I've been really close to in their journeys, because I know some stuff, but we never know what's happened behind closed doors. So although I'm not excited because, I know there's always going to be like some not great. I know that you're in such a good space and kicking, like, I don't know, not kicking life, but like kicking ass in life. And so I know you're in a good space to like share all this stuff. And I'm pretty pumped. So before we get started, can you tell our little community a little bit about yourself before we jump into fitness?
All right. So hi, everyone. My name is Angela Colbert. I'm 34 years young. I am a full-time working mama of 3 children, and I've been with the love of my life for 8 years now. I am currently living in Grand Prairie, Alberta.
Yeah. That's where we met.
Yeah, it is.
She's such a boss. She's like not crediting for herself for how, like, yeah, this woman does so much. Like, I feel like I'm an overachiever a lot, and Angela makes me feel like I'm not an overachiever and I could do more, because she's always like achieving goals, like fitness, eating. Like, she puts herself to a goal and she goes to it. So I'm excited for you guys to learn a little bit about her, more about her today. So let's jump right in, babe. How was or is fitness a part of your life?
Well, fitness has been a huge part of my life since 2016, when I decided it was time to start losing weight, and I entered into my first fitness competition. Since my competition, it has been a constant in my life. Working out gives you endorphins, and endorphins makes you happy. It must be true if Reese Witherspoon says it, hey?
Yes, queen. That's so true. I love that. And I think for you too, you have in the past, you've subbed classes too. And did you get a certificate?
Yes, jumping fitness certificate.
Right.
So I was a jumping instructor for a while.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's another thing we have in common. I love it. And yeah, it was the same. Like, I think for you, when you decide something and you want to go for it, you just like go for it. And I think that's exactly what you've seen. You had a goal with your fitness and you're like, I'm going to commit to this and to a competition because I'm going to show up. Like, you're so good at showing up for yourself when you have a goal. And I think that was perfect for you at that time to put yourself in a frame to get to that goal. Is that fair to say?
It is. And with me personally, if I don't have that goal set, I find myself really easy to jump off that bandwagon. Real easy to make the decision, not to go work out or not eat the proper food, because there's nothing there's not that hurdle that I'm trying to cross. So with me, I'm very goal oriented. And once I have that goal set in place, watch out, world, because I'm fucking coming.
Exactly. That's why it's like for you, you're just like, you're go big or go home all the time. And that's what I love about you, because you just go for it. And we have that in common. I think that's why we have that common respect for each other. And that's what I love. And I was just like, so admired you for doing that, because I'm such a chicken shit and could never do something like could compete for multiple reasons. I don't think I'd have any friends by the end of it. And I just loved that, you know, like you said, you were just going for it and you went big and you made that goal. So you had to show up for yourself. And I think that's such a key to most of your successes in life, is like knowing your goal, setting it, and then doing all the steps it is and working hard until you get to that. And that's
Yes.
my favorite. But that being said, has the fitness industry ever affected your body images positively or negatively or both?
I would say both. So yes, definitely it has. The negatives, I honestly truly think that no matter what size we are as women, we are always going to struggle with body image issues. No matter how much weight we gain, no matter how much weight we lose, we're always going to be battling ourselves.
That's right.
Um, when I was competition size, I remember that I still wasn't truly happy and needed to be better with myself. And I didn't feel like I was good enough yet. Yes, I felt beautiful and fit, but I still felt like I wasn't good enough, that I could always be perfecting my package, that I could still see flaws in my body. And I just, to this day, I have to keep reminding myself that we're all born different. All of our body images are different. And they're, if we all look the same, that's just not how humans are. We are all different. And it's just to embrace our own bodies and love ourselves for whatever stage of life that we're at.
Absolutely. And I think too, it's like sometimes people forget, and I'm terrible at this too. And I'm not saying all people like this, but sometimes there's people that have more time to dedicate to that as well. Or there's more times in my life where I've had more time to dedicate to that. But when I'm like, for example, now working a 10-hour shift as opposed to like an 8-hour shift, like, and being commuting, I'm gone for 11, 12 hours a day. And then we're doing these podcasts at night. The amount of time that I have for physical activity is gone down significantly, because that's not my focus right now. I still do it every day, but it's not like an hour and a half, 2 hours, just la di da. It's like, okay, bitch, you got 45 minutes in and out. And I
Yeah,
think that that's reflective sometimes in our body. And we somehow see that as a negative thing, but it's also like, yo, like, or some people that like say, for example, some moms are like, oh, I wish I could train as much as you. Like, I have cats. They're fine if I'm gone. I have the time and, you know, to do that. So to compare me to your lifestyle is totally different, because you have humans to take care of, right?
for sure.
Not saying that you can't do those goals for sure, but just saying like that's, there's an ebb and flow to fitness journeys. And I think once you realize that it doesn't always have to be number one priority or worth anything more, like it, you know what I'm saying? It's not your worth. I feel like the journey's just so much better. And I feel like you're at that point too now. You're just embracing the journey of it and not putting so much like value on your worth on that package that brought to the stage.
Exactly. Like there was so much pressure before that, you know, it was so hard to be consistent with it after because there was so much pressure. So now it is still a constant in my life. It is still very important that I work out, but my family is also very important. My work's very important. So my time to work out is before everybody wakes up in the morning because if I don't do my morning workout, by the time I work an 8-hour day, pick up the kids after school, come home, feed them dinner, do my chores around the house, it's like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night. Like the working out at night is just basically non existent. So
Yep.
it's just finding that time to do it. And I'm a morning person. So I actually really enjoy getting up early. And I just find it gives me so much energy for the day. It's just crazy. The happiness it brings me when I get to get up in the morning and get a workout in. But not to say I don't do that every day, because getting up at 4:30, 5 o'clock a.m. every day isn't ideal either. So
No, and it doesn't have to be an everyday thing, right? For me, I work Monday to Thursday. So for me, it's always like, okay, I can at least do Monday to Thursday, and then I have 3 days to sleep in. Like, I always think about that way. And I'm the same way. I love getting up. I don't lift anymore in the morning because I just don't have the time because I work early and I have to commute. But I do spin in the morning and I love it. I'm the same way. I feel so like alive when I get to work. And I kind of, on the days that I actually sleep in that extra, like maybe half an hour, I feel way more tired.
oh, it's crazy. And if I work out in the morning, I find that I make better choices throughout the day as well. If
Yes.
I don't work out in the morning, it's really easy to make that bad choice during the day. But if you did the work, It's like, okay, do you really need that? Because you just worked your ass off this morning. And so it helps give you more of a positive outlook
On the
on
day.
yeah, on the dishes the excuse me, the decisions you make throughout the day. So
For sure. And then you're like, wow, I've already like crushed it. Like, let's just keep on this good vibe. And then you too, for me, I'm not, I know maybe not everyone's going to relate, but for me, I'm not like really hungry first thing in the morning when I get up. Sometimes I am like after I'm up an hour or two, but I'm not like get up and eat. So as soon as I start spinning and especially fasted, it's like immediately after I'm done, I'm hungry. So that's
mhm.
setting me up to be able to eat more because with me working for 10 hours, I get 1 hour lunch and I cannot cram 1,000 calories in 1 hour. I just can't.
Oh, it's impossible.
It's in fucking possible. I keep trying and it's not. So I'm like, okay, you got to eat more in the morning, but I'm not hungry first thing in the morning. So now it's like, okay, I'm going to spin and then get that going because then my metabolism, like immediately, I'm like, okay, I'm hungry. I need the fuel. And then I immediately have a shake and something healthy at home. And then it's like, okay, I already did my cardio and I already fueled my body good for the day. Like, this is a good start.
Absolutely.
Right. And I know you feel the same way because we're both up at the same time, kind of ish, but just different time zones. um, and so and I know the answer to this, but have people ever made comments about your body to you in the fitness space?
Oh man, absolutely. There's been lots of positive, lots of negative. At the end of the day, it truly depends on the type of people that you surround yourself around. I have nothing but positive people around me at this point in my life, and inspires me seeing other people's fitness journeys, and I will be the first one to cheer somebody on.
Always you are. That's
Mhm.
so true. You are one of the biggest cheerleaders. I feel like when I made my, let's say, return back to fitness, you were the classes, you were the first person. I was like, Angela, come get weird with me and just stand one on one and practice this class for me because it's been a while and I need help.
Yeah, I was there every day.
You were. It was so awesome. That's what I mean. I was like, that's why I have to have her. To keep in tune with that, I'm going to jump to the next one. Have you, which again, I know the answer to this, but have you ever had a peer coach, gym friend shame you about your body or your progress?
Alrighty, well, here we go. I had who I thought was a peer coach and gym friend all in one until I realized the toxicity that it was bringing into my life. She did some serious damage to my self esteem and my confidence. This all happened after I got pregnant and had my daughter. I was back in the gym 6 weeks after I had her, and I thought I looked pretty damn good for just giving birth. I went from being on stage all the time, helping teach classes, to the back of the line because I wasn't in the same shape as someone who just didn't give life to a human. 2 months after my daughter was born, there was another girl doing a competition. And I thought that sounded great. What a great way to get back in shape. I was focused. I was spending hours upon hours in the gym because I felt like I had to be there to please them. She told me that I was on a fine line on if they would even let me represent their name at the competition because I was not good enough. This put me in a really bad headspace. I finally realized the toxicity that was happening, and it was changing me as a person and not in a good way. I'm a very bubbly person, and I was going into a state of depression because I felt worthless. Um, I ended up leaving because I went from absolutely loving the gym to taking almost a year off because they ruined it for me. Now I'm back at the gym, loving what I do, love seeing my results I'm making and setting goals. It took me a long time to recover from that and to get where I am today.
And you're doing so great. And you have such a good coach right now.
Oh, they are amazing. Like they understand that, it's a life balance and people are parents and we're not robots.
No.
And not all of us have 8 hours a day spending in the gym. So I am very thankful for the coaches that I have now. And I've been in a bad situation with previous coaches that, like I said, it was toxic and it ruined me to the point where I couldn't even go to the gym for an entire year. And I mean, that's got to say something from going from loving something to completely destroying you. So,
Yeah. And it's like these patterns that you don't realize that developed that just seem so innocent at the time. And after you're just like, wow, I didn't realize how much this actually is affecting me until you're kind of like almost too far, not too far into it, but kind of don't realize. And then all of a sudden you're like, wow, I'm not doing this because I love it anymore. And then you just go down this spiral. And it's so important to have a really honest to goodness supportive environment, and that comes to coaches, the gym, your spouses. Like I know for you, you have a very supportive spouse in your fitness journey just like me, and he's into it too, and that makes a huge difference. And the atmosphere, even me and Kayla were just talking last episode, she was just, in a gym that wasn't great, and then you go to one and you're all of a sudden like, oh, this is my place, I feel free and I feel great.
Yes,
That's such
absolutely.
a relief, because when you went to that feeling of like extreme anxiety every single time you lift because you were worried someone was going to make a comment or
Or
call
notice
you
that you
out,
ate a cheeseburger.
call
I've
you,
had
yeah,
that comment too. Oh, it looks like you had a cheeseburger while you took a day off the gym. And it's just comments like that. At the time, you really don't see the damage that it's doing to you. So if anybody is in that kind of environment, just know that that is not normal,
nope,
and you really need to remove yourself from that situation, because it will do long-term damage
yeah,
to your confidence, to your self-esteem, to everything we face as women.
totally. And it's even if it's over time, something will happen. I don't know if this happens to you, but I'll do something or think of something, and then it's like I immediately revert back to that person, and it's like you think you've come so far in that. And then I'll do something like I'll try to deadlift or something, and then I'll just like go flashing back to insane criticism for no reason. Maybe not no reason, but not delivered well. I think everything comes down to delivery and true intentions, right? So
Yeah,
you can
absolutely.
tell someone, if especially if you're a coach, like to guide them towards making better choices and like whatever. But to shame anyone, and we hear this so often, it's so disappointing. It's like, but there's equally really great ones, but then all of a sudden you hear these really bad ones, and it makes you feel so bad because it does do damage. And I had to sit here and watch this damage happen to so many people in the industry that it kind of like lost its shine for me too. Like I had to step back, even like especially with teaching, because I was just like, this is consuming me so emotionally, and this is not what I intended to do here. Like I just wanted to have a good time and help people and make myself feel better, and now I'm some emotional wreck that's going on medication.
It truly changes you as a person
Yeah,
completely. And like you said, you don't realize it because it's in such micro doses at the beginning. And then it just over time, it just kind of explodes in your face and
yeah,
hits you like a left curveball. It's
yeah.
crazy.
And then you look back and you're like, wow, this is just like, and that's to say, like any sort of relationship, sometimes you're just like, make excuses or discredit it and be like, no, you're crazy. Or they gaslight you to believe that, like, no, you're taking that the wrong way, So it's just super important. And why we're having the conversation now is that if you're feeling this way, like maybe have that conversation with your coach. Like, hey, this isn't, maybe you mean this with all good intentions, but just like love languages, I'm not receiving this well, man. Like, this isn't it for me for delivery, right? Like, again, you can
Absolutely.
say all those things in a sense, but that's how you deliver it. If you say it maliciously, it's going to be taken painfully. If you say it like tenderly, like, hey, let whatever. I'm not a professional. I'm not getting paid to do this shit. But there's ways of delivering. Like I work in inventory. I have to sometimes tell people, and I know you're a boss, so you know this, you have to tell people they fucked up.
Yeah.
If you go to them at work and you're like, hey, you fucked up and this is what you did, do they receive that well? Not generally.
No, absolutely not. People do not respond well to that.
No.
And
So you have
it's
to have human skills and be like, hey, this isn't working out. Can you come with me? Can we look at this? Let's work it out together. Coming from a place of like, let's work this as a team to get to our goal commonly, then you did this. I found your mess up. Now go fix it. Not teamwork. Shame, shame, shame.
exactly, exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah, so I think that's very much what like we were experiencing, and now we don't. But outside of your personal experiences, are there any other negatives you see in the fitness industry around body image? Not necessarily from personal experiences, of course, share those as well, but even other ones that you see.
I think a lot of people, when they think of, people that are fit and fitness, they automatically put the image in their head that they're very lean, very petite, size 0. But in fact, fit people are all shapes and sizes. And I think the more I see on Instagram now, I'm seeing more of that.
Yes.
And I just, you don't have to be a size 0 to be fit. You can have curves and be fit.
Yes.
You can have a badonkadonk like me, still be very fit.
Yeah.
And the way, like, some people are born very petite, very lean, very small. Other people are born with curves, and I I was born with curves. I've always had those curves. And when I was competing, I had I had to lose significant amount of weight in a short period of time naturally, but the way my body type is, that's like, that kind of body is not sustainable for me, like, on a yearly basis. It's
Yeah.
just, my body is not meant to be that small,
Yeah.
and which is fine. I'm just, it's just, everybody's different, right? So it took me, I actually wish that I never did a competition, because the mindset that it's given me, I I look back at my pictures and it was like, how could you think that you were not perfect back then, or now,
Yes.
you know what I mean? So
Totally. We just talked about that. Like, I look back at pictures where I thought, and whatever, drag me if you want. I thought, oh my God, you don't have abs, so you're fat. You're not good enough. You're not lean enough. And I'm looking back and I was like, girl, you look banging. Like,
right.
why? And so now I try to remember that when I look at pictures currently and I'm not happy. I think about that. You know what? In 3, 6 months, you're going to like this picture. So like it now.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's, no matter, we can speak about it all the time, but having to do it ourselves
Hmm.
is really hard. And I don't know why we as women struggle with that so much,
I don't know.
because women are beautiful creatures. Like,
Yes.
we are just, I think we were formed so beautifully, and it's really sad that so many women have body image issues, me being one of them. And it's hard to get out of that headspace once you're in it. So
Yes, it's like reworkable like it's just ingrained like naturally because I don't think a lot of us realize when, and I didn't for a long time, even the stuff that you're consuming, your subconscious is holding on to that, right? And if that mixes with your insecurities and say let's say someone comments something, you're thinking, "Oh, I wish I looked like that person. I'm not great at this." And then someone random stranger on the internet was like, "Yeah, this is a problem for you out of nowhere." And you're like, "Oh, that just validated that I'm lacking that and that's what's beautiful. So therefore I'm not beautiful." It's like this weird where we don't realize that we're doing that. And I don't know. I was just like kind of learning about it a little bit. I'm like, where did this even come from? Why are we even doing this? Why? Yeah. But and
right.
I was so against people being like, it's social media, it's social media. I'm like, no, no, no. You can control how you consume it. You can control how you receive it. But no, there's even the strongest of people are still getting that like honestly, I was like saying the other day, I was gonna take a picture in here and I was like, oh, the lighting's terrible. You can see all of my wrinkles and my open pores and my bags under my eyes. And I was like, oh, I just maybe I should have a filter. And I just like looked at myself in the mirror. I'm like, I hate that you just said that.
But we all say it, we all think it,
Yeah.
we all do it.
Yeah.
So
And it's okay to do it sometimes. I'm all for a good filter, especially on a day where my acne is out of control. I've been there, definitely think it's fun. But when you start looking at your face and liking the filter version better, ooh, that's a dangerous line to
that
play
is
with.
a danger zone. And
And event
they
sorry.
make it at our fingertips now, right? So it's just so
Exactly.
easy to distort it all the time. And
And I don't think people know how many apps, I don't think I even know as a photographer, but how many apps that are really easy on your phone that you can literally put abs on your body. So they are influencers. And if you need YouTube drama, just YouTubers drama. And you will find girls that have literally got called out about lying by like either accenting being making themselves look smaller or like perfect body or actually accenting their flaws and trying to get like followers from that. So, it's not just with your face, like, and that's, I think, the biggest thing that people don't see is the body image stuff. Like, people do Photoshop stuff. This isn't like uncommon thing. It's actually more common than people know. And I think that is also perpetuating more body image issues because, again, we're looking all the time, not necessarily at reality, but highlight reels, even though we know that subconsciously, it's hard to remind yourself of that.
oh, it's so hard. It's so hard.
Do you feel like you have ever done any extremes trying to achieve like your idea of a perfect body? And did anything help? Was it good or bad?
So, like I said to you guys, I did my first competition in 2016. I decided in March that I was going to do it. Basically, it was just a whimsical thing. I don't even know why it started or how it started. Anyway, I said I was going to do it. I had two other friends that were going to do it as well, and we were going to walk this stage in October. Realistically, to get down to that weight, I would have had to lose. Well, I did lose 60 to 80 pounds in
Wow.
6 months,
Whoa.
and
That's so much.
that was natural because I did the INBF bodybuilding federation, and you actually have to take a polygraph to make sure that you're not doing any substances that are not natural.
Cool. Right.
So I believe at the end of it all, it was just over 65 pounds. I can't remember to
Wow.
be exact now. So I would say for sure that that was extreme dieting. Um,
Just a little bit.
just a little bit. I did it. I walked that stage.
Yeah.
I did not place in the top 3, but
That's nice.
I did come second last. And you know what? Just just doing it was an accomplishment. Just saying that I got to walk on that stage
Yeah.
was an accomplishment, and it's something that it'll be one of my dearest memories that I will hold with me forever. I
Absolutely.
learned a lot of stuff while I was prepping for my competition. I learned a lot about meal prep. I learned a lot about working out, and that has definitely helped me in my life today. Now I do my own meal preps. Of course, I have a coach that helps with what I should eat, but I have a pretty good understanding of what a person should eat, the macros, breakouts, you know, your carbs, fats, and proteins, and the workout programs in itself. So I definitely have gone to the extreme. That being said, after competition, I definitely gained back some of my weight for sure because being that small is not sustainable. And now I'm just a normal person, and I will probably never walk the stage again. Um, Being a mom of 3 and just the mindset it puts you in, it's meant for some people, and I applaud them. It is not meant for me. I'm
Yeah.
glad that I did it, and I got to say I did, and I have the pictures to show, you know, myself when I'm an old lady. But I personally would never do it again. But yeah.
I know. I love that. And I love because, like, for you, I think no matter what, of course, you obviously would love to win. But for you, it was like, I just want to prove to myself that I can go on this stage, do something that terrifies me. I'm not going to be malicious or necessarily harmful in any capacity. I just want to do this for me and prove that I can do it. And I said I did it and I got the proof. And now fitness is just for my longevity of life because I enjoy it. It's my escape. It makes me stronger, it makes me feel good. And you've just related that health aspect to fitness as opposed of like chasing the vanity part. Not saying that shows are vanity, but I feel like you were in the same boat as me when you first started going and you got really into it. It was like all about like getting to that shredded lean, and then you realize like how much better fitness is when you appreciate it at that like deep level of just like making your body feel good, and then it's therefore going to look good by just naturally treating it better.
Oh, it's so true. And you know, for me now, I've had blood pressure issues basically since I was a teenager. It's hereditary, it runs in my family, but I have struggled with hypertension, blood pressure for a very long time now. And working out not only is good for you know, my weight or anything like that, but I actually work out because I need to be healthy to be around for my children and my husband, and that's one of the reasons why fitness is also so important to me, because I want to live a long time, and life is really short, and it's to make the healthy habits to be able to do so.
Yeah, and then too instilling that then by leading for example by example for your kids.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? And then that just inspires them to, we're not saying you need to be in the gym 20. I don't think any, I think some people think people that are like gym goers think we need to be in there for hours on end. You can get a really good workout in 45 minutes to an
Oh,
hour.
hell yeah,
Like you do
absolutely.
not need to. Yes, some of us do because A, we don't have kids. B, what the fuck else do you do during this year?
Right.
And I mean, some parents do leave the house for 2 hours because they need to get away from their kids, and that's totally fine too. But it's so wonderful to see that. It's not wonderful. It was not wonderful watching you go through the lows of that, but I always knew your glow up would come back and you would retouch, like get in touch with fitness again in the same sense that I did. Then it's just for your well being and not for anyone else, whether that be a coach or a mentor or classes. Like I used to get such a high off of teaching the classes and being connected, and I still do, and I wish I could, but my physical body cannot handle doing that anymore. And I don't know why it took me so long to like admit that, but like as much as I want to help and get people moving in their house, I just physically can't do that anymore. So that's where it's like, hey, well, the podcast, I can sit on my ass and I don't even have to look good and I can help people.
But your voice sure sounds good.
Exactly. Thank you. Yeah. Oh my gosh. When I started teaching again the second time, I lost my voice for a solid 3 months because I just like refused to use a microphone, and I really regretted that. That was terrible. I sound like, oh my God, it was so bad. So flipping, then we were just talking about the positives. So what are some positives that you see in the fitness industry, either for yourself or for other people, or do you see any?
A big positive would just be really self-love. People that post selfies of them working out, I applaud every single one of them. Not only do you look and feel better working out, you are taking care of your body so you can be around for a long time. Life is really short. I just find people in the fitness community are uplifting to each other and fix each other's crowns, and you know, um I just think the fitness community is great.
Yeah, absolutely. When you find your right people, they make you feel invincible. And that,
Mm,
I read something the other day. It was like something about runner's block, or I can't quite remember what it was, but it said something like runners know when they like hit that block that there's still 40% left in your body to give. And I think that's how me and you kind of see stuff, right? You're just
yeah.
like, you have those good, I don't know where I was going with that, but I was just
I
like,
understand
whoa,
what you mean.
where are you going with that? Just kind of fucking stoners. Um, and that's another stigma. If people should already know this, but huge stoner in fitness. Literally smoke weed and walk in the door and teach a jumping class.
Yeah.
Not to squirrel off, but yeah, the positives for you and the stuff that you've seen is that community that you have around you, and you've seen what it's like to have not the greatest one and a toxic positivity one and a real one. And I think that's really, really great. And
It's really crazy how you can bloom when you release those toxic people from your life. It's
yeah,
crazy. It's
and then
crazy
you
what people
learn.
can bloom into.
Yeah, and then you learn the next time, like, nah, never gonna do that again.
Yeah, you get those triggers and then you see the red flags and it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
We're not going
Let's
back to
step it
this.
back a second
Step
here.
it back. So, would you say, I think you would say one of your wins in the fitness industry, even though you went to that extreme, you still learned a lot about yourself and your health and your fitness. Is there any other wins that you have towards, let's say, your body image thanks to the industry?
You know what? I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Um, Basically, I learned so much coming out of that, and it's helped me implement that in my daily life going forward, and I am truly truly thankful for that. So
You take everything as a lesson and, like, how can I do this better for next time? What can I learn from it? And I'm not going to hold on to it for too long.
exactly,
Right.
exactly.
And it's such a beautiful, it's not a beautiful thing to watch because like for a while obviously we were kind of like disconnected for a bit, but then when like we got, it was like an instant reconnection.
It was
And
instant.
right, and it was just kind of like, um I have my cheerleader back.
Yeah.
And it was
And it
so
it just
great.
took time, and because we know why we got disconnected, but
Yeah.
once we reconnected, it was just like nothing ever happened, and yeah,
Yeah.
just removing those toxic people from your life.
Yeah. So for, and I told, and I, it was so funny, not funny, but just, it was such a change for me to have such a big community in the fitness industry to like going to the gym by myself. But I think for me, I needed that because I think I was just like so emotionally invested into the industry itself that I got very, very lost in what my whole purpose was when I started working out.
You had to find
Um,
yourself again.
yeah, and I think if anybody's in that space, and I think Angela can agree with me, like it's really easy to not realize that you're in it, but like don't be afraid to just like shake things up if you're not happy.
Absolutely. I
Like
couldn't
we've
agree
been
with you
there.
more. Oh
And
yeah.
you've done that, like you said, you've learned a lot of lessons on the things that you've done, and you take the things that you love from it and implement them in your daily life, but you're not living a restrictive life anymore. You're not living in fear that someone's going to know that you had a piece of pizza on the weekend. You know, like it's such a night, we're just saying it's like a switch.
Yes, it's a complete on and off switch.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right. And it's such a wonderful feeling. And that's not to say like, yeah, go on the stage, do all those things. But once you have that, like you respect fitness in a sense where it doesn't drive your ever loving fucking everything like it did for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't stress about days that I can't go to the gym anymore, or when I didn't eat as much, or I'll switch my workout if I know I didn't eat very much, I'm not gonna go do a leg day. Like,
Yes,
where
for
before I
sure.
used to like shame myself for being like, I can't believe you put yourself in this position.
Yep.
And I'm like, holy fuck, when did this become a thing?
Right.
How
Settle
did that
down.
become a thing? Stop it.
Settle down,
So
self.
yeah, fuck, shut up. God, it's so annoying. And it's so funny. I like listen to myself. I'm like, God, you're annoying. Kayla's like, I love your voice. I'm like, it's so funny how you just hate everything about, not really, but you know what I mean? You're just like, oh, I can't stand this about myself. And someone's like, I love it.
I think in general, though, I think everybody hates the sound of their voice.
Oh man.
I'm going
Start
to
a
listen to this back and I'm like, oh my God,
I
what are
know.
you?
You know what? I totally agree with everyone. Start a podcast and have like 5 guests a week that you have to edit, and I promise you, you'll get real used to your voice. It'll sound like a close friend that's really annoying.
Embrace your voice, love your voice.
Pretty much, because unfortunately, I mean, we could try to change it. I'll like get like influxes, or I'll be like, "Why were you talking like that?" Or I don't know. You could spend hours going over it, but fuck it. That being said, do you have any advice for those struggling with body image, either in the gym or just in life in general?
Really, just remember that we are all born differently and we don't all look the same. Embrace your body, embrace your size, and just know that you are beautiful.
Absolutely. And put the bikini on and walk across the stage if you want to.
Fuck yes.
It's your decision. You're paying for it.
That's oh, so much money.
Yes, right? Like you do it. If you want to do that, do that. I like to put my
Absolutely.
bathing suits on and strut across the house.
I'm
And
sure Grant loves that too.
yeah,
So
he
that's
learns
a
them too.
win-win.
He does the same
Believe
thing.
that.
He started it. He does it first. You guys have all seen the TikTok. If you
We
haven't, go to
have,
my
yeah.
Instagram and find the TikTok and you'll see it. I love that. Thank you so much, girl, for coming on the show today. Is there anything else that you want to add? Literally anything to do with fitness, body image that maybe we didn't cover today?
You know what? I think we touched on basically everything.
Okay.
And just know behind every successful woman is a tribe of other successful women who have their back. Don't
Yeah.
take anything else less than that.
Yeah. And just know that, like, we've all got you. Like, we are your hype girls. And I'm so glad that you're back from this, and like we all had them. Like I said, I needed a reset. I think that was your reset.
That was my reset. Yep.
Right? We all need it to reevaluate what we're doing, why we're doing it. Because for me, when I was just strictly chasing vanity, I will be a fucking liar if I said I wasn't chasing it like at least 25% of my journey. Okay. But when it was 100%, that's all I cared about. And I was mad if I didn't have abs, but I wasn't doing anything to change my lifestyle.
Yep.
Like, I want abs, and then like fucking skip the dish Dairy Queen ice cream. Like, bitch,
I do know.
right? Well, not even you, bitch, like me, bitch, but like, but you, bitch, too. But thank you again so much for coming on the show. I am so proud to be your friend, to watch you through this whole thing, to always be your cheerleader. I'm glad you came back, and you were always hyped for everybody. Even in your like dark times, you were still hyped for everybody else. But I'm glad that you're doing that for yourself, because we will say our biggest advice on the show is you always have to be your biggest cheerleader. You always have to be your biggest hype person, because you spend most of your time in your fucking head.
It's true. You can't pour from an empty cup.
No. And I know for you, you'll agree, you have all those things stuck in your head that's told you that you're not enough, you're not lean enough, you're not that. And we annoy ourselves.
Yep, absolutely. We
So
do.
outside boundaries to the people that are saying it, inside, make sure your environment's good. If you need hype girls, you know where me and Angela and Kayla, even though she's not here today, you know where we all are. We're so grateful that you came on the show today, girl. I hope you had a good time.
I did. Brandy, I'm so proud of you for starting this podcast. It has
Thanks.
been absolutely amazing, the issues that you touch on for people that need to hear these things. You truly are an inspiration, and I know me and a lot of people thank you for doing these podcasts. It really means a lot.
That's the whole reason why we're doing it. And it makes me want to cry every time someone says that, because I'm just like, I'm just talking to people. You
Right?
know,
But
I,
you're actually changing the world,
thank
and
you.
it's the people that don't reach out but can hear these things, and the people that need to hear it, and just know that if anybody ever needs to reach out, I'm always there. So
Yeah, absolutely. And Angela is one of your best hype girls. So definitely check her out, follow her if you need some hype. And I appreciate that so much. What we want is we want people to feel less alone and more connected, especially through these really, really fucking trying times.
mhm.
And I know for some weird ass reason, you fucking people like me and my energy. I still can't figure it out, but we're learning. And if I can take a little bit of my sunshine and happiness and bring that into your homes, when I can't come and hug you, I can't come and visit you, I can't teach a class in real life or do all the things that I'm used to doing, you bet your fucking ass I'm going to find a way to interject myself into your life. And me and Kayla hooked up. Well, that sounded sexual. We've never met in real life, so that I don't know how that happened. But Kayla, I'm spreading rumors that we're having online sex. um, and it's just been a wild ride ever since, and it means the world when people are seeing our vision, and it's doing something for them, because that's all we ever wanted. I know a lot of people have asked if we make money on it, and I would love to one day, but right now the energy exchange from helping people and give them a platform and pioneering for people to own their own stories and be so proud and empowered by that, that's fucking power and energy and money in itself, even though it doesn't pay for my rent. I mean, if my landlord's listening, if she wants to take my good feels from all the podcasts, that would be cool. But just being here and listening to people's story, I feel like I'm going to be a university professor by the end of this, because I'm learning so much in experience. Um,
That's beautiful.
it's the most amazing thing. So we wouldn't be doing this if I didn't have cheerleaders like you and friends like you that have always slapped me around when I needed it and reminded me of who I am and why I'm doing things, because I definitely need that. And so I couldn't be here, neither could Kayla, without you guys. So equally thank you back for seeing what we're doing and being here for us and being on the show. And welcome to the addiction of podcasting. And we're going to jump over to our second guest.